how long does it take billionaires to make their first $1 million? The answer might surprise you. While there's literally millions of millionaires in the world, with around 20 million people classed as millionaires in 2018, the Billionaires Club is much more exclusive, with only 2,000 members globally. Within this select group, around half are self-made. So just how did they start their fortunes? What age were they when they first broke into that six-figure club? And what industries did they make their fortunes in? Did education and race play a role in their journey to becoming a millionaire? Let's find out. Now, every billionaire started from somewhere, whether it was a business idea that changed the game, a brilliant investment, or perhaps family inheritance. Interestingly enough, there's been a shift in the average age that people earn their first million, with it previously being around 36 years old. However, more and more people are now becoming millionaires early, in their early 30s and even their 20s. Now, one of the biggest factors that will determine whether or not you'll be a millionaire is the industry that you're working in. Different industries have different average times. The quickest industry is still telecoms, with an average age of 3 years. Technology and IT is a close runner-up at 4.8 years. On the flip side, the industry that takes the longest average time to make your first million is manufacturing, with the average being around 16.3 years. But if you break it down, it seems that the tech industry is where most of the younger players are coming from. Let me explain. So traditionally, you need quite a lot of money at your disposal if you want to make a mark in the telecoms industry, especially if you plan to go up against the big players. In Mexico, for example, becoming a player in the telecoms industry means going up against the likes of Carlos Slim, a man who owns most of Latin America's telecoms industry and has a net worth of around $62 billion. By contrast, you don't necessarily need powerful investors and a large bank balance behind you if you're looking to make a mark in tech and IT. Sometimes all you need is a brilliant idea, just like Larry Ellison. Ellison was a college dropout who worked odd jobs before he founded Oracle and became the 5th richest person in the world with a net worth of almost $80 billion. And since having large capital isn't a fundamental requirement in Silicon Valley, it might explain why there's so many young people finding their fortunes in that industry. In fact, out of 143 tech billionaires in the world, roughly half of them started and still live in Silicon Valley. What's more, the average wealth of billionaires in the tech sector is around $6 billion, while those in other sectors have an average net worth of around $3.3 billion. I guess tech billionaires must be doing something right. And speaking of tech billionaires, arguably the most well-known billionaires in the world have all made their fortunes through tech. Names like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos have pretty much become household names, and they all have fortunes that most of us can't comprehend. For them, that first $1 million might seem like a lifetime ago, but exactly how long did it take for them to reach that first $1 million? Well, for Bill Gates, it was 6 years. For Jeff Bezos, it was 3 years. And for Mark Zuckerberg, it was only 2 short years. Now, did you notice some really interesting things there? Not only did all 3 men make their first million pretty close to the average age of 4.8 years, but that time also grew shorter for each of them. It only goes to prove that having a great idea in the tech industry these days is pretty much a fast track to the Millionaire Club. And there's another interesting thing here. Out of those 3 men, 2 are college dropouts, Gates and Zuckerberg. 2 other tech giants that are part of the college dropout clique include Elon Musk and Larry Ellison. Now, it could be argued that all of these men didn't really need a college degree to succeed. All 4 of them not only had ideas that disrupted the IT sector, but they also taught themselves how to code at an early age. So, is education a huge factor when it comes to making millions? After all, huge companies like Google, Apple and IBM are known to hire people that don't have a college degree. Well, you can look at it in 2 ways. On the one hand, having a good education does give you an edge and put you in a better position to become a millionaire. Most top CEOs in Fortune 500 companies have at least 1 degree, with roughly half of them holding an MBA as well. On the other hand, not having a college degree doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be able to make millions. According to Warren Buffett during an interview he gave with MBA students, he said, quote, "The best education you can get is investing in yourself, but that doesn't always mean college or university." As the chairman and CEO of global conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett is another pretty interesting billionaire because of one of his most unique beliefs. You see, while he knows that he was able to amass his $86 billion fortune thanks in part to hard work and dedication, Buffett also openly admits that he had a major head start because of, as he puts it, quote, winning the ovarian lottery. During a meeting at the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholders meeting in 1997, he explained this to mean that many of the advantages people get in life, such as their nationality or their health, are determined entirely by chance. For Buffett, being born a white male in the USA gave him a huge advantage from the get-go, and it seems like the numbers pretty much prove Buffett's belief. Around 28% of the world's billionaires are Americans, with almost 82% of them being male. Roughly 40% of the world's ultra-rich call the US their home, as the US has around 18 million millionaires and around 700 billionaires. To put that into context, the second country in the world with the most millionaires is China, with roughly 4.5 million millionaires. So, in a nutshell, if you're a young white male living in the US with a flair for tech, you've got pretty good odds if you want to become a millionaire. Now, sometimes, even if you've got a great idea, the grit and determination and luck on your side, it still takes some time to reach that fabled $1 million mark. Some of the most famous examples of people who earned their millions late in their lifetime include comic book legend Stan Lee, who got his big break when he created the Fantastic Four at the age of 39. Another is Sam Walton, who founded the first Walmart at the age of 44. And Colonel Sanders of KFC fame, who became a millionaire at 74 years old when he sold his fried chicken franchise for $2 million. Adjusted for inflation, that amount would be about 16 million today, making Colonel Sanders a very, very wealthy, late-to-bloom entrepreneur. So, with all this information in mind, how far along are you with your journey to your first million? Let me know in the comments down below. And hey, once you've made your millions, you definitely want to consider buying a private island. If you haven't already seen our video about the best private islands owned by billionaires, I'll leave that on screen for you to watch right now. Thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please show your support by clicking on that subscribe button to stay up to date with all of our latest billionaire videos. Catch you on the next video.